Hi, this is a response to the video Atheism, the Doctrine of Confusion. To start with, I refuse to base a refutation on nitpicky points, so I will get the obvious out of the way first before moving on to the material of substance. Simply put, the original video was unprofessionally created. It was riddled with poor grammar and misspellings on nearly every slide, including, ironically enough, the word ignorant. Anyways, down to business. The first logical fallacy is the associational fallacy. It asserted that because an atheistic worldview is practiced by some evil men, atheists must all be evil. That would be like saying Hitler liked to paint. Hitler was evil, therefore painters are evil. Painting is not causally related in any way to Hitler's evil. As an aside, Hitler was a Christian and referred to Christ many times in his public speaking. So, not only does this not make sense as a logical argument, it wouldn't work even if it did make sense. Let's examine why the atheism of various dictators has been qualitatively different from modern atheism as a worldview. First of all, we have to be clear that yes, a doctrine of atheism can be just as deadly as other things that cannot be questioned. It is not religion per se that I find myself against, but rather irrationality in general, a large umbrella under which all religion happens to fall. Dogmatic atheism, separate from organic atheism, also falls under this umbrella of irrationality. Anytime dissent is squashed or opinions are taken away, there is bound to be trouble. With this, I agree entirely. What I fundamentally disagree on, though, is that atheism need not, by its definition, be a doctrine, while any sort of religion must be. A doctrine is defined as a body of teachings or instructions. These are things that must be taken on faith. So, let's be clear on the difference between a way of living one's life, which is what organic atheism tends to be, and a doctrine. We all live our lives based on the idea that if you drop a baseball, it'll fall to the ground. We all live our lives based on the assumption that the sun provides heat and light. We wouldn't call such knowledge a doctrine, really. It's scientific knowledge at its most basic. We live our lives this way because that's what makes the most sense. This is what we experience every day. But if things changed, we would be open to changing our way of living. I think it's safe to say that if one day things stopped dropping to the ground, or if the sun stopped shining, we'd have to re-examine what we know. We would have to decide whether our scientific analysis of gravity and stars were flawed, or whether those analyses were correct, but something in the universe had changed. For instance, our planet flying chaotically off course. Something like that. Atheism is no different. Although we live our lives based on the assumption that baseballs will fall if dropped, and we might be surprised if one refused to drop, we wouldn't ignore it. In the same way, no reasonably thinking atheist would refuse actual evidence of something supernatural. We just live our lives, for now, with the knowledge that nothing has yet been shown to exist outside the observable realm. Nothing has been persistently unyielding to scientific inquiry. The creator of the video listed all the proponents of a dogmatic atheism, which I agree is just as bad as a religion of the same kind, without mentioning the other side of the coin, organic atheism, reached through long critical thinking, the sort achieved by vast majority of scientists today. I direct you to the description of this video, in which I link to the atheism video not made by me, which describes the vast number of intelligent atheists in the world today. This says nothing about the philosophical validity of the position. Even if atheists were all dumb jerks, that would say nothing about the truth of their beliefs. Fortunately, most atheists tend to be smart, caring, down-to-earth folks, as that video will demonstrate. Although I cannot speak for every atheist, I hope I speak for most when I say that our philosophy is a naturalistic one. We know that scientific inquiry can answer questions about this universe, and that if there is another realm of reality out there, we have no way of consistently knowing it. It is possible for religious or spiritual individuals to have feelings of what this other realm might be like, but there are two primary problems with such feelings. The first is that they are not effectively communicated to or understood by other people. The other people have to feel it for themselves, often not even in the same way or resulting in the same outcomes. It is an inherently subjective experience. The second problem is that the feelings are perfectly explainable by the study of human psychology and neuroscience. There is nothing abnormal or supernatural in the feelings of religious people. These feelings are quite analyzable and predictable, really, based on our knowledge of our world and our biological makeup. Inferring something supernatural just hasn't been made necessary yet. It is at this point that one might argue with me, but okay, if things have to be objectively observed in order to be considered true, then doesn't that eliminate even the possibility of a supernatural realm? Haven't I, in effect, still managed to deny the existence of anything supernatural? This is here where you might see the beauty of the atheistic philosophical position. I do live my life on that basis for now, just like I live my life under the assumption that a baseball will drop, but the key difference in the worldview of atheists from religious people is an openness to change. Although the supernatural realm, if it exists, has not yet shown any signs of interacting with the natural realm, I don't, as an article of faith, rule such things out. I simply state what I've seen so far, a world that is completely explainable by studying natural phenomenon. If a completely unexplainable voice were to echo in the heads of every human being on the planet, saying in their native tongue that God existed, I might be tempted to believe. I wouldn't abandon attempts to see whether some ultra-advanced interstellar race had performed this trick, but I would at least be swayed a bit in my opinion. Unfortunately, I have never heard of anything that would sway a religious person from what is, indeed, a doctrine, a body of teachings from which no change can be made. Any changes that are made, for instance, conversion to a different religion or ignoring some articles of the church, leave the person still believing in things irrationally, just different things than before. So, I look forward to a video response from the maker of the original video. I'd love a conversation. Peace.